My name is Wendy. I am a housewife in my 19th year of marriage. I have 3 children, all girls, with the eldest being a freshman in college. Every day is lively and talking with my glamorous daughters makes me feel young again. My husband is a company employee who works hard for the family. He is a serious person, but I thought I shouldn't ask for more since we are happy. However, one day, my husband brought home a woman who was about the same age as our eldest daughter. Her belly was swollen and it was clear that she was pregnant. Who is that person?
She is my lover, Patricia.
Lover?
My daughters and I were surprised by the sudden news.
How old is she?
She is 19.
What? 19? Isn't that almost the same age as Margaret?
Yeah, that's right.
I felt nauseous. There was no other way to describe how I felt.
Patricia is pregnant.
Whose child is it?
It's obviously mine.
It's unbelievable. Even if he says it's his, it's not normal to have an affair with a woman who looks like our daughter. Nevertheless, my husband thinks it's natural and doesn't seem to feel guilty at all.
So we're getting a divorce.
What?
What's the problem?
Are you divorcing me because she's pregnant?
Yeah, we have to get married again and raise the child together.
Our children are still in college and high school, and they cost a lot of money.
I've raised them this far. Isn't that enough? You figure out the money.
I've been a housewife all this time, so why are you saying that now?
I'm not an ATM.
I don't think that way.
Listen, I don't need a wore-out old hag. You're used up.
How cruel! How can you say such a thing?
Look at Patricia. She's young and fresh, with glowing skin. That's what a real woman is. Compared to her, you're just a woman who's thrown herself away. It makes me sick to think of being with someone like you in the future. Sign this if you understand.
With that, he thrust a divorce form in front of me. I never thought the day would come when I would have to write a divorce form. Besides, my husband was taken by a young woman like our daughter.
Write it quickly. The divorce form.
Patricia sneered at me and clung to my husband's arm.
You're divorcing me because you cheated. It's too selfish.
The child in her belly needs a father. It's a man's natural responsibility to take care of it.
That's too much.
Come on, write it!
I was forced to write a divorce form with a pen pressed against me, even though I didn't want to. What do my children think of me? They must think I'm a pathetic mother. I'm a weak mother who can't even argue with my husband, who suddenly brought a pregnant woman with a big belly and said he wanted a divorce. I took the pen and began to write each letter carefully. As I wrote slowly, I remembered when I wrote the marriage form. I was so happy then, wondering if my husband's last name would become my last name, and I was full of happiness. I felt like I could overcome any hardship in the future. After the children were born, my husband was always working and away from home. No matter how hard it was, I tried my best to be a good wife and never complained. Even when my husband brought his subordinates late at night, I entertained them with a smile. I stood in the kitchen, which I thought I had cleaned up nicely, and cooked and carried food. My husband wanted to show off his role as the head of the household, so he gave orders more arrogantly than usual. After that, the second and third children were born, but they were all girls, so my husband criticized me.
Can't you give birth to anything but girls? I want a boy. You are a useless woman.
It was painful, and I even cried in secret. When I found out that my child was being bullied, I consulted my husband, but he didn't listen.
It's up to you, the housewife, to do something about it.
That was my husband's answer. I've managed to endure every day of anxiety and sadness. And now, just as the children are about to leave the nest, my husband's betrayal has come to light. What an ironic life. So all the hard work I've done for my family has been completely meaningless. When my husband was sick, when my children were sick, I took care of them devotedly even then. But when I got sick and had a high fever, who took care of me? Come to think of it, no matter how high my fever was, I was the one who prepared meals and took care of the children. I've been whipping myself to work hard, telling myself that if I don't do it, no one else will. And yet, why do I have to receive such punishment? Even though I didn't want to cry, tears flowed naturally. I know that this woman will be happy if I cry. She'll sneer at me as if she's won. She thinks everything is my fault. As the divorce form was filled with my writing and I thought it was over, my husband took the divorce form.
Okay, you're done writing.
Now we can get married. I'm glad we can live together with the father of my child. Otherwise, this child would be unhappy.
The woman said happily.
Yeah, I'll keep working hard for this child from now on. Even after I retire, I'll keep working and show you that I can support this child. So don't worry.
Brian is so manly. That's why I love him.
My daughters looked at the two of them with cold eyes. How sad it must be for children to witness such a divorce scene.
Well, the divorce is final. The children will be with you.
Let's go file the divorce form right away. And let's submit the marriage form at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
My husband held the woman's hand and tried to leave. But at that moment, my eldest daughter Margaret spoke up.
Then I'll go with Dad.
Huh? What?
What's that supposed to mean?
Isn't it weird to decide which one of us to follow without asking?
Yeah, I'm going with Dad too.
If my sisters choose Dad, I'll choose Dad too.
Wait a minute. Why is it like that?
Isn't that obvious?
Don't you girls want to be with your mother?
Who decided that?
But you and your mother get along well, don't you?
That's because we're family. It's natural. I love my mother.
She said with a smile. But why? I thought my daughters would follow me. It was strange to choose my husband, since there had been almost no conversation with my husband until now. I couldn't imagine suddenly choosing my husband. So, my husband must not have thought that my daughters would follow him.
But I can't live with my mother.
You're a college student. Can't you do it alone?
It's impossible because I'm a college student. Tuition is expensive. And if I'm away from Dad, I have to work for tuition and work for a living. I won't have time to study. So, it's better to be with a father who has income.
Yeah, that's right.
Brian!
No, this is a valid argument.
I'm the same. I'm in the 10th grade, so I still need tuition. And I want to go to college in 3 years. College costs money, right? So, I have to go with Dad. I need money to play with my friends too. Right, Dad? I like Dad. Is that okay?
Of course. I thought you'd be better off with your mother, but you chose your father. I'm happy.
Dad, I'm also with Dad. I'm in the 9th grade. I want to go to cram school from now on. So, it's definitely Dad. Is that okay, Dad?
Of course. There's no objection.
Brian. We're newlyweds. Yet, I hate having such a big child with me.
Don't say that. These kids are all my children. Marrying me means becoming their mother. That's natural, isn't it?
No way.
Well, I've been a housewife since I got married. Even if I work from now on, I can only work part-time. If I think about the future of my children, it's better for them to be with their father. It's painful to be separated from my children, but there's nothing I can do.
It's okay, Mom. I'll come to play frequently. So, don't sell this house.
You must be kidding. We're going to have a baby from now on. Why do I have to be the mother of such a big daughter?
If the child is big, it means that you can get a lot of help. I think there are more things that are helpful than not. So, it's okay.
Remarrying Dad means this. Nice to meet you. Mom.
It's not a joke. I hate it.
No matter how much she said she hated it, the children didn't give up at all. They returned all the words of the woman, and the 3 daughters left with their father. The house was empty and desolate, and tears flowed as I wondered how it had come to this. The daughters who left with their father arrived at the spacious apartment and worked hard to secure their own rooms.
Oh, can I use this room?
Then this room is mine. That one is for Lily.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait a minute. It's reserved for when the baby is born. It's also reserved for storage.
Even if you say that, there are 3 more people now, and one room isn't that big. If a baby is born, the couple's bedroom can be used. You don't need a baby's room.
A child's room is necessary.
Dad, it's okay, right? Because we're already grown up. It's impossible for 3 people to be in one room, right?
Yeah, that's right. 3 people in one room is impossible.
Brian. Stop it. Children should be separated from their parents from an early age to develop independence.
Don't you think it's sad to separate children from their parents from an early age?
What are you talking about? You don't know anything.
Mom, is that so?
Margaret called Patricia, who was only 1 year older than her, Mom. It must have been unpleasant for Patricia, but since she married my ex-husband, she was indeed a mother.
Hey. I don't like it when Margaret calls me Mom or something like that.
Why? You became our mother, so you're Mom. I don't even want to call you that, to be honest. But isn't it important to start with the way you call it to awaken your recognition as a parent?
Patricia, who looked frustrated, ran away to the kitchen as if to say enough. Well, when the cohabitation life began, the daughters did nothing. Patricia, the 19-year-old new wife, had to do the housework every day with her big belly.
Mom, I'm hungry.
There's something in the fridge, right? Just take it out and eat it.
Make it for me.
I'm pregnant, you know?
You just got pregnant by doing whatever you wanted, right? Gross. Besides, Isn't it a mother's job to make food and feed the children?
What did you say?
Our previous mother always made us meals, no matter how busy she was.
But, you're almost the same age as me. You can do that much for yourself, right?
Even if we're the same age, you're the mother. I'm the daughter. You wanted this life, so you married Dad, right? This is what you decided, so you have to deal with it.
Mom, give me some allowance.
Allowance? You want me to give you that too?
I think that's natural, don't you? We've been getting it all along. If you don't give us any allowance, that's like saying, go do some compensated dating.
How does that make sense?
Well, if we don't have any money, we can't hang out with our friends. Then what do kids do? They make money by doing compensated dating or something. Is that okay with you?
If you want to do it, go ahead.
Wow. Dad. Mom said to me to do compensated dating.
Wait. I'll give it to you. How much do you want?
Mom, I don't have enough money for cram school. And I want this dress, so buy it for me.
Why do I have to pay for that too?
Going to cram school is obvious.
What about the dress?
The dress is a necessity. I'm young, you know. If you're married, you don't care what you wear. You don't have to flirt with other men anymore. But we're just starting out. This is the peak of our youth.
That's right. I want a bag too. I can't walk around with a worn-out bag on a date with my boyfriend.
You guys, don't you ever think of getting a part-time job?
Part-time job?
Margaret is a college student and Rose is a high school student, right? Then you two can work part-time.
My school doesn't allow part-time jobs. If you do a part-time job, you'll be expelled.
I have to study, so if I have time to do a part-time job, I should study. That's what our previous mother used to say. I wonder if the new mom thinks part-time jobs are more important than studying. Is that why you want to marry a guy like Dad?
What did you say?
Mom, I'm hungry. I want pizza.
Enough already. From morning till night.
That's what mothers are supposed to do.
The daughters used Patricia as much as they could. And on top of that, they said whatever they wanted, so there was hardly a day without a fight. And when they fought, and it got too bad, they went outside, and the youngest Lily played the crying role. The two older ones played the soothing role and appealed to the neighbors. This was unbearable, and Patricia complained to her husband about the situation during the day. But even though they were talking in the couple's bedroom, the three of them who were listening with their ears to the door barged into the bedroom.
How awful! You're talking as if we're the bad ones. This is stepchild abuse. Dad, we're working hard to help you during the day. And yet, you say such things to us. How rude!
That's right. We're famous in the neighborhood. Poor Lily. They say that the mother doesn't understand the children because she's almost the same age as the eldest daughter. This is abuse.
Who's abusing who? Why do you barge into the couple's conversation? We can't do anything if we want to get along as a couple.
You're pregnant, so you don't have to do that. The baby will be surprised.
You guys are really nasty.
Look, Dad, she says things like that without hesitation. It hurts our feelings.
Well, Patricia, You're a mother now, so be patient. The kids have their own reasons, and above all, they're hurting because their parents suddenly divorced.
What about me? Are you saying I'm not hurting?
You are the mother, aren't you? You have to act as the mother of the three.
You always say that. You only care about the kids.
Patricia's hysteria knew no bounds, and she attacked her husband. Those days continued, but Patricia didn't miscarry. On the contrary, she was able to give birth healthily, so she must have had a strong mentality. However, when they saw the child who was born, the daughters said,
He doesn't look like.
Is this child really our father's son?
He doesn't look like us at all, even if he's our brother.
Children have such monkey-like faces, don't they?
They said whatever they wanted. But it seemed to be their honest opinion. So the daughters decided to find out if he was really their father's son. 2 weeks later, the three of them lined up in front of their father.
What? What happened?
Dad, look at this.
She handed him a document, a DNA test.
What? A DNA test?
He doesn't look like you at all, so we had him tested. And it turns out, he's 99.9% not your son.
What?
He took the document, but Patricia screamed next to him.
That can't be true. He's your son. There's no mistake. And yet, you're accusing me of cheating or something. That's too much.
But the test says he's different, so there's nothing we can do.
No way.
No, it's not true. There's no way that could happen. This is some kind of mistake.
I hope so, but that means the test is wrong.
That's right. That test is full of errors. There's no doubt that he's your son.
But we had him tested with his hair and your hair. And there's not much room for error, right?
Even so, it's done by a machine, so there's no absolute, right?
Well, then how do you explain this?
The eldest daughter took out her smartphone and showed him a photo.
What?
This is a mail that Mom sent to another man. I took a picture of it. How about it? Aren't they crazy in love?
He stared at the screen, but Patricia must have been uneasy. After all, there was a candid exchange there.
What do you mean?
That is...
What is that? This clearly shows a relationship with a man.
Then Patricia sighed heavily.
Well, there's nothing I can do if I'm caught.
What do you mean? You mean you were cheating?
I wonder if that counts as cheating.
Whose child is this?
I don't know. I played with many partners, so who knows whose child he is?
What did you say?
If I knew whose child he was, I would have made him take responsibility. But I didn't know who he was, so I thought it would be quick and easy to choose you. I thought you would accept me because I'm a young woman. I just wanted a father for the child.
So you chose me because you wanted a father?
Yeah, because I broke up with the other guys. I didn't even think about getting married.
So you don't have any other men now?
Of course, I cut them all off to marry Brian. So there's no problem, right?
I wonder about that. There's this picture too. How do you know what Mom is saying is true?
Margaret showed him a picture of her meeting with another man.
I followed her because I thought something was going on when she dressed up and went out. Then she left the child at the daycare and went on a date with this guy. By the way, when you said you go to your parents' house or go shopping, you were meeting men then too.
You were doing that. You were cheating on me behind my back?
But I can't help it. I prefer young men.
You married me and you're doing this.
Marriage and love are different. I want someone who can make money like Brian to be the father. But for a playmate, I want someone who is young and handsome.
You're married and what a jerk.
But Margaret, who is the same age as me, dresses up and goes on dates, right? Why can't I do that?
We're not the same age. You're 1 year older than me.
It's the same thing.
You chose to get married and become a mother, didn't you?
I didn't know it would be so hard, so I can't help it.
Stop it! You're making me raise a child that's not even mine, and on top of that you're cheating.
Oh, yeah. If you're going to say that, fine. I'll divorce you. I don't want to be with these daughters anyway. It's a good time.
Well, Dad. Write it quickly. The divorce papers.
Margaret said it and handed the divorce papers to her father. He took them and ran his pen over the divorce papers. When he signed the divorce papers, Patricia also grabbed a pen. She seemed to have no regrets, and she wrote her name smoothly.
That's good, right?
She threw the pen on the table as if to throw it.
Well, I'm leaving. I can't stand being the parent of such stupid daughters. It's because of you that I had such a hard time.
Take your child with you. It's your child, after all.
I know that.
She said, stuffing her belongings into a bag and holding her child. Then she left. When Patricia left, my ex-husband slumped down on the sofa. He let out a deep sigh.
I can't believe she was cheating on me.
That's too bad.
No, it's good that I found out. I was working hard for the sake of the child. And it wasn't even mine. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
From now on, let's get along as a family of 4.
Yeah, let's do that. It's not over yet.
The daughters answered their father's words. A few days later, it became a big fuss on social media. That's because a scandal of a pharmaceutical company employee's affair and exposure came out. A 50-year-old employee got a 19-year-old clerk pregnant, and it caused a huge uproar. People were disgusted and made a festival out of it, and even boycotted the company. As a result, the stock price plummeted, and the company suffered a big loss. The company couldn't stay silent, and they investigated who the 50-year-old employee and the 19-year-old clerk were. My ex-husband, who didn't know anything about it, was immersed in his work as if nothing had happened. But without him revealing it, it was found out that he was the one, and he was fired as a way of taking responsibility for the company's loss.
Why? How did they find out?
Dad, pull yourself together. Social media likes this kind of exposure. You don't know how they found out, but it spreads before you know it.
Oh, maybe you're right. But I was fired. I'm unemployed now. You guys have tuition fees to pay. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry, but you have to give up on college. I can't afford the college fees now that I've lost my job.
Oh, really?
From now on, let's work together as a family of 4. Margaret and Rose can work part-time. Lily will be a high school student soon. If she works part-time, we can manage somehow, right?
My school doesn't allow part-time jobs.
I will explain the situation. Then they'll understand.
That's a harsh joke. I don't like that.
Huh? Rose doesn't like part-time jobs?
Of course, everyone else doesn't do part-time jobs. So why do I have to do them?
I don't like it either. I don't want to be with such a lowly father.
If my sisters leave, I'll leave too.
You guys, where are you going?
We're going back to our previous mom's place.
You can't pay for tuition if you go back to Mom's place.
It's okay. Mom has a job that uses her skills.
Mom's skills?
You didn't know, did you? Mom is really good at cooking. So she's uploading videos of it. It's a big hit. It's the taste of home made by a housewife. Mom can easily pay for our tuition now.
Is that so?
Yeah. It's obvious that we'll be poor if we stay with Dad from now on. So we're going back to Mom's place.
What about me? What should I do?
Dad was fooled by a young woman like a daughter. It's your own fault. So you have to figure it out yourself.
Hey, don't say that. Don't leave me alone.
Mom was left alone, right? And suddenly, Mom who only did housework. So Dad has to work hard by himself too.
That's...
Oh, and you know. Nowadays, even ordinary people like us can make a splash on the internet.
Huh? What are you talking about?
So, the rumors about Dad on the internet. Anyone can spread them. You don't seem to know, but you don't need a proper magazine to write an article. If you can write an essay, even elementary school students can spread rumors on the internet.
Huh, so that means you guys did it?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Because you hurt Mom. You made a young woman and handed Mom a divorce paper. I can't forget that. So as a final blow, I made sure people wouldn't buy the company's products.
What have you done?
That's how bad you did, Dad. I'll never forget what you did to Mom.
Bye, Dad. You'll have to work hard by yourself.
Bye, Dad. Don't get caught by a young woman again.
The daughters said that and left their father and came back to my house. And they smiled and said that the revenge was complete. The ex-husband who was abandoned by his daughters and became unemployed had no income and could not do anything. It was unbearable because I filed a claim for damages. At this time, the ex-husband asked why, and the eldest daughter Margaret pushed him away, saying that it was because of now. He should accept it as a punishment for ignoring Mom. The ex-husband who had been done so far seemed to have some thoughts.
Was everything you guys did?
He asked.
That's right.
Did you decide to do this when you said you would come with me?
Yes. I thought I would definitely avenge Mom's resentment, so I went with Dad. If not, how do you think I would go to a place where such a woman is?
That's what it was.
He finally realized that he had been abandoned by his children from the beginning, and he lost his motivation for everything and could not even find a job. As a result, the only thing he finally got was a part-time job with a few dollars an hour. He paid not only the damages but also the child support for the 3 daughters in a lump sum, and he became in debt. At this point, he lost the courage to live near us and moved to the mountains. I don't know what kind of life it is, But it's not hard to imagine that it's a lonely life for one person. On the other hand, I have 3 daughters who came back to me and live happily every day. The cooking videos are also popular, and the income is quite a lot. Thanks to that, I have enough tuition for my daughters, and I can live a life without any worries.